am recording this segment. Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Alana DeGrasse. I'm the president and founder of Turning on the Lights Global Institute. First, I want to thank everybody who has taken time to step out with me, to dream with me, to pioneer with me. You know what? This experience is really not all about me. And so I have to also say thank you to everyone that works with me behind the scenes that you guys will probably never see. These are the people that tirelessly help me to work on the communication strategy. These are the moments that I'm with Hubster and we talk about the business development that we need to do to let Tolji really be that vessel that really helps people to say yes to their goals and their dreams and think on a larger scope. You know, I want to thank all of my partners here in Boston, people like Fisher College and all these communities of women that I've had the pleasure to work with, the Boston Public Library, and goodness, so many organizations and people to name. But if you have partnered with me in my business, I want to just say thank you so much for being a part of a growing movement, a growing company that really believes that intercultural communication is pivotal for today, for the kind of world we live in. Not only that, but it's time to allow training to include aspects of authenticity that just have been missing. Now, I don't know about you, but when we think about social media and we think about communication, sometimes people get lost in all the noise. And Turning on the Lights Global Institute really wants to be that avenue where individuals, organizations, associations can come, learn, train, grow, and develop in either their personal or professional lives. We also have a wonderful women's corner that allows women to breathe again with WBC 15. That is group coaching. That's where women can come together and say, I will upgrade my life with specific tools and strategies to help them to win and to help them to say yes. So if you didn't watch the earlier segments of this conference, I would encourage you to be a part of that by just simply going back to the prior videos and following us from the beginning. I also want to take time to thank all of the women who spoke for stories of courage. If you haven't had a chance, please check out Nicola Ramsaren's website. Please check out her links that are associated with her book. If you haven't had a chance to meet Ms. Janelle Hall-Blondell, she has been a part of my Business Communication Mastery Communication program, and she's launching a whole Team Build Confidence Booster. So it's really time to support individuals and helping them to say yes. You know, go and find out who Ms. Tara Hall is and understand her journey, her story, as she has dedicated her time in the IWBCC conference as a leader and as a facilitator. And I want to say thank you so much. And Dr. Alicia, thank you so much for reminding us that we really are enough. Thank you for helping us to say the things that we are so afraid of saying. And you have been so transparent and so authentic that I just cannot wait to see you soar in your own personal life when we figure out exactly where you're going. I just want to say thank you to these ladies. You guys are so fabulous. Goodness, Nicola Ramsaren, Janelle Hall-Blondell, Tara Hall, Dr. Alicia, and of course, thank you, Priyanka, for your assistance and tech support today. Now, we're not done. I just want to make sure that as I go through the day, I never take for granted all of you showing up, all of you taking part. And I also want to thank you for the attendees for coming, for sticking around. When everyone said, oh my gosh, this conference is too long, I can't deal with it, I'm tired, I'll see you later, you guys stood in. So I've got a wonderful surprise for you at the end. I just can't wait to let you know what that's all about. But I also want to say for everyone, if you're new and this is the very first time you've been in a process with me like this, please give us your 5-star by putting your hashtag UPML in the comment box so we can applaud you for sticking around today, because you could have said, what is this? This is weird. I don't know what this is all about. This is too long, but you stood in there. And you know why I believe you did? Because you know that in order to upgrade your life, you gotta wipe the slate clean. You got to do things differently, and you recognize you don't have to be jaded anymore. You don't have to feel like you're stuck anymore. Now you're in a tribe. I feel like once you're in the tribe, always in the tribe, right? So as long as you're part of IWBCC, you can always stay tuned to things that we have going on, and we always are going to have some live trainings, webinars, or seminars for you. So again, I want to thank all of the attendees for being a part of this fabulous day. You guys really rocked. Trelane, Pam, everyone, Connie. We also had Juanita earlier, Karen earlier. Thank you guys so much for being a part. We also had men that tuned in. to the IWBCC over the weekend. So I want to say thank you to them as well. So you guys just stay tuned as we continue. So we're going to talk about our last segment for today before we have the final straw at 1:30. So at 1:30, by the way, I will be putting in, so at the end of the segment, we will break for lunch. And at 1:30, I will actually put in the link for the actual Zoom room we will be in as this conference would have wrapped up. And we're going to wrap up with the VIP. And you all are invited to be a part of that last discussion. So you can see me, we can see each other, we can talk. The setup is a little differently. And I saw that all of you voted that you wanted that opportunity. So we will make sure to do that. All right, so we're going to dive in. Everybody got your pens ready? You're ready to go? Thank you for all of you who tune in from all over the world. You're viewing this, and this might be your first time. I want to say welcome to the experience again. Thank you so much for being a part of Turning on the Lights Global Institute and this very first conference. All right, so we're going to get going. You guys should be seeing me in just 1 second. Hey, everybody, can you see me? I see you see me, and I'm going to actually be switching some individuals. All right, so awesome. And here we go. So as I'm chatting right now, I want you to know that you can always, let me just change my screen here. You can always let me know if you have any questions as we're going. This is really your time. And I know it's hard to stay focused in a setting like this because, it's different, right? You are at home, you're not in a room, it's easy to lose your focus. I get it. And it's easy to be distracted, but just zoom in, because these moments are going to follow you in months to come. And that's why we have a conference here. So today we're going to talk about getting ready to show up. Jim Rohn always says that you should work harder on yourself than you do your job. Now, isn't it funny that when you get a job, a new job, even if it's a job you don't like, what are some of the things you do when it's time for you to get ready? Well, number one, if it's the first day of this new job, you're going to bed early, you're making sure that you're well rested, and you're making sure that when you are awake, you've given yourself enough time to get to your destination. I mean, you're in expectation that you have a job to do. Now, why is it when it's time to show up for ourselves, we don't treat ourselves like that? We treat ourselves more like, hey, here's a wonderful meal and maybe I'll have a dessert. We treat ourselves with the and maybe. We kind of say, well, I know I'm important, but when I find more time with the CMF plan, when I find more time, I'll be able to show up for myself in a different way. But what if I told you that you don't have time to waste? I don't have time to waste, which is why I want you to think about your friendship analysis. Now, you guys know I always talk about this. We talked in the last segment about how important it is for you to make sure you surround yourself with individuals that are ready to soar with you, right? Susie Carter mentioned get into a tribe, go into a situation where there are people that are really going to challenge you to another level. Think about what it's going to take for you to really get to this new version of yourself. We think about Serena Williams, Michael Jordan, all these athletes, they all had coaches. So even though they all had these wonderful skills and abilities, they all still had a coach. That's why I want to thank so many of you for being a part of WBC 15. And if you've never been a part of WBC 15, I would encourage you to learn more about how you can sign up for that, because it's really your opportunity to be in a tribe, but also to have a system in place for your own personal development. Now let's talk about this. I want to share with you some don'ts this year, things that you should not do, especially if you plan on growing in your personal life. Number one, I'm not going to allow you to make any excuses anymore for why you don't show up for yourself. So no more excuses. Now, you can't fix everything in your life, right, overnight, but you can choose. And we're talking about habits now. We're going to get to business in a moment in the next segment. So we're talking about personal development. So number one, you cannot use the same excuses you've used all these years for why you're still stuck. I had great excuses, and we can buy our own story. Like, my excuse was, well, I'm too busy. or I have too many students, so I can't write new books. I can't go out and speak because my schedule is already crazy. But when you think about your purpose and your jewels that you have, and the fact that we're not promised to be able to use our gifts all the time. I mean, isn't it funny the moment something happens with something you always took for granted, that's when you realize you should have been using it? Like right now, we're happy that our legs are working, but should we fall or should something happen, we'd be like, oh my gosh, boy, I really needed my ankle. I really needed this. So I want you not to take number two, don't take for granted the very nature of you, whether it's your skills, your talents, your capabilities, things that come supernaturally easy to you that don't come so easily for others. The fact that you can speak, the fact that you're a great organizer, the fact that you know how to manage money, whatever it might be. Number two, don't take these gems for granted, because when we take it for granted, we tend to procrastinate. We tend to tell ourselves, well, this thing is so easy to me, or this thing that I'm doing is so easy for me to do, I'll get it done tomorrow. And when you procrastinate, it is the worst pill you could take, because it's you basically saying, well, I know what I need to do, but I just don't have the time. And it's so easy for me to do that I don't need to have discipline to do these small steps every single day. But at the end of the day, when you show up, it's kind of like, think about the ants. Ants are very organized. There are great documentaries about ants. And if you watch the trajectory of how ants actually work together, how they take small steps at a time in a tribe, and they move from one point to the next, and they all have little jobs that they do. Well, if you see yourself this year and you know you can do something well, how are you going to allow those very things that you're good at? How are you going to allow it to serve you? See, you might say, well, boy, I can really bake a cake. I know how to really bake desserts. Well, are people getting to enjoy those desserts? Are you bringing them those desserts, or are they coming to your place to just have great interaction and dialogue? We need that in our society today. If you're someone who knows how to speak, and many of you do, and you're putting together your business plan, or you're putting together what you want to do, have you thought big enough, or are you just playing safe? See, some of you really should be authors by now. And some of you, you don't even have to be an author because you speak so well. Some of you have that ability to step into a room and demand some kind of attention, where if you really had a strong purpose, a strong mission, a strong message, you could really help to change so many individuals' lives. This is why I need you to get out all that clutter, because I know it's like we take what we do for granted. Oh, not everybody could be Miss Trelane, who's in those schools making sure things are going well, those students are learning, then she's got to go home and take care of her family. No, it's not easy. It's not easy. Not everybody could be, Pam, making sure she's doing everything she can to take care of her daughter and make sure that Miss Blondell is still standing there like a warrior. See, it doesn't matter how many people are in this meeting. It doesn't matter if it was just one person in this meeting, because if that one person in the meeting took some nuggets that helped them to say, goodness, I'm going to lay down. I'm starting this whole thing all different. This was for me. So I want you to put, when you hear something that's for you, you can say, hey, this was for me. Because I really want you to know that not only are you beautiful, valuable, and nothing about you is a mistake, but your biggest challenge this year is going to be your self-talk. The biggest challenge you have this year is going to be how you procrastinate. The biggest challenge this year is going to be when you look at that basement with all those things down there, and you start looking around, and you look at it, and you look at it, and you look at it, and then you start saying to yourself, you leave the conference and you go, oh yeah, that's right, Dr. D was right. I need to clean out my clutter in my basement. I need to get my notebooks together. Girl, wait till I get started, because we have great starters, right? They start great. They start very great. And they start out and they say, oh my goodness, I'm so pumped up. I'm coming out. Oh yeah, I got it. I'm going to change. Day one, they're strong. Day 4, they're strong. Oh, I'm coming. I'm upgrading. I'm going to upgrade. my life. They're singing the song. I'm gonna upgrade my life. Doing a snake with it. Nobody do it without a try. I'm gonna upgrade my life. And they tell their friends, I'm gonna upgrade my life. Got the whole dip and everything. Gonna upgrade my life. Could never do it without a try. And then all of a sudden, 7 weeks in, Dr. D calls you. Hey, y'all, how you doing? You still upgrading your life? You got your notebook out? Oh my goodness, I don't know where were my goals? Oh boy, I know. Oh my goodness, I know I had them somewhere. Oh wow. Yes, so what were the goals you said you were gonna do in the last 3 weeks? Oh my goodness. Oh boy, I wrote them down, but you know what? My life is a mess. And then here we go. My life is a mess and I can't find my goal sheet. And I still got things I still got clutter in the basement. Oh my goodness. And then this other thing is going on at the same time. Oh my goodness. I got so many things to do. Oh, you know what? It's just so much. I think I'm going to call Dr. Z. You know what? I'm not even going to be in the group. Forget it. This is really not for me. This is just for other people. Oh my gosh. Look at how it's all working out for Janelle Hall Blondell. She's just so strong. Oh my goodness, she's just so strong. And look at Nicola. Yeah, she seems like she would be successful. Yeah, she's pretty good. You know what? Yeah. Well, oh, look at Dr. D. She always smiling. She's not going through anything. That's her. I expect that of her. I mean, so you know what? I mean, now it's 4 months later. Ring ring. Hey, how are you doing? Oh, you know, I just got a whole lot going on in my life, Dr. D. You know, I haven't been in the group. I haven't been really writing my goals, but it's okay because I need to take time for me. Ring, ring. Excuse me? Excuse me? Hello. And this is our pattern. This is actually what happens. See, because as we come to a place where we get all pumped up, we get all these nuggets, we hear the stories, we're excited. Trelane says, I should be acting. That was what I used to do, Trelane, back in the day. Trelane says, I don't want to be that person starting off strong and fading. I want to stay strong and consistent. Yes, I don't want to be that person, Pam Stewart says. So yes, this actually happens. Oh, let's talk about some other things that happen. Like you're on your way to writing your path, you're getting your path down, and I've seen this a lot. You said you want to, you want to upgrade your life. You're trying to be successful. You finally got things going on. And then I call you, ring, ring. Hey, how you doing? Oh, Dr. D, hey, how are you? I can't talk right now because Tyrone is over. Tyrone, oh, okay, so that's wonderful. Are you in a relationship? Is Tyrone really treating you 5-star? Oh, well, not really, but it is Friday night and Tyrone, I'm single and Tyrone and I, we really need to just hang out because I'm single. Okay, well, okay, all right, I get it, I get it, but are you still working on your goals? Are you still working on your goals? Well, Tyrone's been coming over lately. Oh, really? Yeah, girl, so is Tyrone working? Well, he's on a little break right now, and, he's kind of told me that, I really shouldn't be thinking about, being, he's going to take care of me. So there's no need for me to really focus on all of this extra work. It doesn't take this much anyway. So I'm just going to, chill back for a little bit. Oh, really? But what about the books you still wanted to write? And what about the goals you said you wanted to have? I mean, are you still trying to do that? Oh, right now I'm just going to take it easy. And, I just don't have as much time. And actually right now, Tyrone is waiting for me outside. So, I need to hang up with you and go and meet Tyrone. Ooh, you should see Tyrone. He is amazing. Oh, okay. Well, I completely understand you. I respect you, but please make sure that, you keep yourself, don't lose yourself as you grow in your relationship, because I think that would be great. Fast forward 2 years from now. Ring, ring. Hey, girl, how you doing? How's Tyrone? Girl, let me tell you about Tyrone. I told him I wanted to do, workshops for ladies, but he said, I just need to stay low and just continue to make sure I got food in the home. I'm doing what I need to do. And you know what, that's what I'm going to do. Wow. And I've noticed that every time I see you, you just look kind of tired and you're trying to do everything. And so what's going on? I just make sure Tyrone has everything. I make sure his food is ready every single day. And, I have a child and he has a child. So together we have 2 children together, and I make sure that I provide for them. Yeah. But, I noticed that you really used to, like, on Fridays, every first Friday, you like to go and get your nails done and things like that. You don't do that anymore? Oh no, I just make sure that I give to everybody, and I make sure Tyrone is happy, and I make sure that my the kids are good, and when I have time for me, I'll make it. Well, I noticed that you were wearing curlers the other day, and you just sat in your house the entire day, and I know when you came to the conference, you said you really wanted to step out and you would really take care of yourself. I mean, what's going on? Well, you know what? One day, I hear what you're saying. One day, I really think that maybe one day I really will be able to upgrade my life. But right now, I'm trying to maintain my life, so I don't really have time to do all this upgrading. Okay. Then, and this is actually a true story, because these are kinds of emails I get. Ring, ring. Hey, what's going on with you? Well, you know what? I cannot believe Tyrone. Tyrone had the nerve to tell me that he wants to get back with his ex. And we've been together for 3 years. And, I just can't even believe that Tyrone would do something like this. And now here I am. My finances are not even where I would like them to be. Well, I mean, okay. So what actually happened? I mean, I thought that Tyrone was working and you were going to be able to kind of upgrade your life that way. Yeah, but then Tyrone said, he really didn't have time for all this extra hard work. And actually, he feels like he's losing more than he's gaining. So now I really don't know what to do. I'm barely making ends meet. Now, y'all, talk to me if this is touching you. Talk to me right now if you've either seen this, observed this, or maybe you've had an experience. But then that person says to themselves, oh man, all those years ago, I really should have been working on my giftings. Maybe I should have been thinking about the projects I could have done. Maybe I should have really been, I should have loved Tyrone and loved my family, but at the same time, I should have carved out a little time for me. Oh yeah, when did I get so comfortable just not taking care of myself? Because I remember when I first met Tyrone, how close we were. I remember how I took care of myself. I remember how I made sure I rested so I could smile when we went out on a lovely date. I remember how much we would take our time and really communicate. Oh, but now I just don't have any time. Now I just barely find time, because time to me is just something that's a part of the day. It's not an investment. As Dr. Miles Monroe would say, my time is not an investment. Actually, I just let everybody use my time. Woo-wee. So a lot of times we find ourselves in different situations, whether it's a great situation and it's a relationship, but we can completely lose ourselves entirely, or we can basically talk ourselves out of it. So maybe it's not a relationship. Maybe it's just you. You came to the conference and I said, wow, you can really make it. You're beautiful. You're valuable. You came, you took all these notes. You closed your notebook. The conference ended. It's 2 weeks later. You see that there's a need for a speaker somewhere, or you see that there's a need to show up and create some kind of project or product or service. And you say, oh man, it's just going to be too much for me. I can't do it. Yeah, people always tell me that I should probably write, but I don't think I have it in me. Oh, I don't really think I want to have my face on a book. Oh my goodness, then I'll really be out there. So I want to challenge you to really think about what it actually means to show up. See, we can say all these wonderful quotes. They sound great, don't they? Show up for yourselves. I'm going to upgrade. All these things sound great. But the truth is, until you make that dedicated decision that you're going to show up for a process that you may not completely understand, but that you're going to commit yourself from day one all the way till the end. Until you do that, you won't ever know if your potential could be a reality. And that's the biggest part of why depression and resentment sets in with people when they set goals, because when we show up with the idea, hey, I've always been told I can do this and that, and then they have the CMF plan, I hope it all works out. And then they start making random steps. Random actions don't really produce anything. You could make a random action. I haven't seen this with people starting businesses. Oh, randomly, hey, I made some jewelry, I'm gonna just go start a business. Or hey, I've been told I can speak, and they go and start something. But until you have the strong foundation, it's gonna be hard to maintain yourself, because there are gonna be highs and lows, and you're gonna have to know, who are you? So you want to build your brand, or whatever it is you're doing, build your life around the values that are important to you. And it doesn't matter who you're standing next to, who you're looking at. You gotta look at your life and say, what is my why? Why, whether it's the money mantra, right? Or whether it's the affirmation that you create for yourself. But you gotta know when you wake up that you are beautiful, valuable, and nothing about you is a mistake, and you are worth the time that you give everybody else. But more importantly, you've got to pour back into yourself, because we can only love people to the extent of how we love ourselves. We can never expect more from someone who doesn't love themselves, let alone hope that they will throw all their love, or their inability to love, at us. So I really want you to recognize that this is really an opportunity for you to kind of create your own new destination for yourself. I can love myself. I will not shrink back. I can use this opportunity to say, I'm starting over. I'm wiping the slate clean. Here's some other things I want you to think about. Another nugget. You've got to move from fear. Your fear. The biggest obstacle a lot of us have is the fear that is within. Because if you actually were to be that author, if you actually were able to speak to those hundreds, those thousands, if you actually were able to create those health centers, as Nicola Ramsaran talked about, imagine the scores of women that will have tears streaming down their face because someone had the audacity to follow through on their plan. See, I spoke at a hotel conference years ago. I was in Atlanta at the Hyatt, talking to women that were working on these academic degrees. And one of the ladies stood up and said, man, I've been doing this for so long. I have a son, I've been married. How do I know that I shouldn't just throw in the towel and quit? And I said to her, the question is not, should you quit? The question is, who misses out on their solution because you did not follow through? Who is going to miss out? That was one of the things that completely changed my life. I went from that idea of, could this work, to, oh no, this has to work, because there are hundreds of women out there. Research shows it. I can see it. And I have to believe that the tools I've been given can be useful for somebody else. Well, it's the same thing with Nicola saying, hey, I want to create these health centers. You have to get to a place where your thoughts become so ingrained in you, you can only see it happening. I remember years before we're having IWBCC and, thinking about the vision I had for myself. And I always saw just groups of women finally coming out and saying, I can come out, I can make it. You know what? I haven't felt beautiful for some time. I went through some abuses and I just haven't felt really beautiful. But you know what? There's something about you that when you say, you know what? Yeah, I've been bruised. Yeah, I had to go through some things I did not ask for. Yep, just like that climber climbing the mountain, I've gone through some seasons where I've had some sores. I've got bandages that you can't see. Woo! I've got internal bandages that you cannot see, that I've been holding on to, that I've been healing from, that I've been moving on from. But now I can accept those bandages. I can accept those things I had to endure because they made me the woman I am today. Now I can look at the places I have fallen, the pits I went in, the moments I just parked there and I just said, I'm not moving anymore. See, I have to keep it real. Depression happens to all of us. Depression and resentment and doubt and negative self-talk, all the things that go into that. Intrinsic motivation can all be the reason as to why we just throw in the towel and quit. And you know what's even worse? Well, when you have had all these undiscovered or unresolved issues kind of milling around you like glue, all these other people can attach to you that you didn't intend to attach to you. I'm sorry. And you can get very comfortable in that because you're in a certain place. Even if you want to go and grow, your foot is still glued to those things you don't want to let go. And more importantly, then you might have some other people standing on your shoe. You're trying to leave and they're standing on your shoe and they're adding to your gluey mess and that whole thing. You got to clear everything. You just got to clear everything. So with me right now, and I want you to participate if you're still alert, because I'm completely on fire right now. I literally could be walking around my living room by myself, talking to myself and reminding myself that the best is still yet to come. Yes, you're going to go through things. Yes, you're going to cry. Yes, things are going to happen because life happens to us all. But then you got to get up. You got to get up. You got to get up. You got to say, self, oh no. Oh, is this happening in my life? Is this going on in my life? Okay. I'm about to put on that Keisha. I'm about to put on that Keisha. Right? I'm putting on Keisha. I'm going to say Keisha. When Keisha starts talking to you and she says, girl, who do you think you are? You actually think you're going to become 5-star? You think you're 5-star? You know, do you remember what happened to you when you were 5? Do you remember that they told you you would never be much of anything and that you should never think so highly of yourself? Do you remember when you failed at that particular thing? You remember when that relationship didn't work? Then you got to bring out Keisha. And Keisha comes in and said, oh, no, you won't. I know you're not coming up in here talking to Dr. D, telling her that she's not enough. I know you're not bringing up her past and telling her that she can't, become the best version of herself. I know you are not talking to her because that old version of her, she left DMU a long time ago. She left Doormat University, 10 years ago. So you just have to go. I know, self, you're not telling yourself that you can't arrive at a new goal, that you can't work on new books, that there are other people out there waiting for you to be their solution. Oh, sometimes you got to bring out Keisha. You got to get that fight on because guess what? You can study all day. You can read every book. You can go to every conference, every training. But at some point, you have to go back home. You got to lay in your bed. You got to deal with your thoughts. And remember, you have more power to deal with your thoughts than you recognize. So bring out old girl Keisha. Now, if you don't know who Keisha is, because all the ladies in the tribe know who she is because we've talked about her in our coaching. But Keisha is that woman that will come out and kind of demand her justice. She's not just going to sit there and allow life to happen. She's not just going to sit there and say, oh yeah, I'm so sad. Woe is me. It's so sad what happened. Oh no, she's not going to sit there and just watch random TV and just read random things. She's going to be intentional. Oh no, Keisha's going to say, girl, you need to go to bed at 9:30 because we want you to be popping in the morning. She's going to say, girl, you can create that book because people need to see your story. You need to work that outfit because people want to see that shine. There's somebody waiting to see you shine. That's what I really want you to recognize. This is why you cannot procrastinate. You can't take your life for granted. You can't take your ableism for granted. Let me tell you a story about this man who he really just encouraged me. I was teaching a graduate course, and for this one course I was teaching, this technology class I was teaching, someone said to me, well, you have a special student, and this man, he has an ailment that has paralyzed him from the neck down. He cannot use his hands. He cannot use his feet. The only thing he can do is he can speak. And when he speaks, he has to speak in this little prompter that basically goes into the computer, and 3 other things happen just for him to talk to you. So basically, this man would have to speak into this mic, and it would go into one person's screen, and she would write out with her fingers what he was actually saying, and the other person would then call me and tell me what he was saying. And what was amazing about this student is that we would have our deadlines for things that were due. This young man would call me 3 days before the assignment was due to make sure he understood what to turn in. He didn't have working hands. He didn't have working feet. He couldn't even move his neck. He was bound to his chair. But the one thing that touched me was how motivated he was, how he made sure to even change his mindset. And when we were done, he said to me, I never thought I really had a future because people told me I had to be bound to my wheelchair. I wasn't really going to be able to do anything. But after this experience, after being able to realize I can use technology and I can communicate, this man decided he was going to start his own communication projects, and he was going to communicate with the world what it was like to have his issues, and he was going to share how you could use these different technologies to be able to communicate even if you couldn't move. Don't tell me you can't do something. If this man who was paralyzed from the neck down could find a way to be proactive, to be engaging, my goodness, what can't you do? Especially if you have legs, hands, eyes, you can see. There's no reason. There's opportunity everywhere, opportunity all over the place. Now, not just for your professional development, your personal development, all those things you tell yourself. I double dare you right now to write down 3 things you actually like about who you are. What do you love about yourself? What have you been shy to really share? Maybe you know how to work an outfit. Maybe you know how to really command an audience. I don't know what it is, but now's your time to unleash this beautiful part of who you are. And if you've never shared it with anybody, I double dare you to write it out. What are some wonderful things that you naturally know how to do? What have people told you for years you were good at? What do people tell you when you share? I can also think about a time, these are moments of authenticity that people don't think matter. But I just have a belief that in our society today, in our world today, people need to see real people. And if they see a real person in you, you never know what can happen. Years ago, I was at a school and there was a woman there who worked as a lunch lady. And every week I would stop on Fridays and do this goofy dance called my Friday Happy Dance at the school. This one particular day, the lunch lady said, Dr. D, she's not happy. She hasn't talked to anybody, so maybe you can talk to her. So I go up to her, I put my arm around her, and I say, you're beautiful. And I don't know if anyone's told you that you're loved, but I want to let you know I love you, if no one has ever told you that. So fast forward, 4 months later, the school year is wrapping up. She walks up to me with this little card. And I'm like, what is the card for? I'm glad we went through the year. I opened the card and the card says, I want to tell you thank you for that day when you hugged me. Because the moment you hugged me, I knew that I was going to be okay. That day, I decided I was going to end my life. And when you hugged me and said you loved me, I knew that I could hold on. Well, when she shared that story, I didn't know really what to say, because in my mind, I just thought she just needed a hug that day. But do you see, it's just a little action that you could take that could change someone's entire world just by doing one small action. So I want to challenge you to remember, you can actually show up for yourself in a brand new way. But I also want you to see that you can show up for yourself and serve someone else. Think about the tribe. Think about what you can do in a new way. Because when you show up for yourself, that's truly when breakthroughs can actually happen. That's truly when you can finally say, you know what? I am worth the change that I so desperately want. So let me wrap up and give you my last thoughts before we close out and you guys go and have lunch. There's a chapter in my book, Tomorrow Can't Wait, page 105. And it, really what it was about is this day that my husband and I went out to go see the symphony, and this symphony was playing so beautifully. And, I was listening to the symphony and listening to the music, and there I had this image of water in a bottle that was seeping out of the bottle. And that's essentially what happens when you come to a conference like this if you don't preserve all that you've learned. So you can come to a conference like this and fill up your journal and fill up everything, and you don't even realize that everything you've just taken in is slowly seeping out when you don't know how to really integrate it into your daily life. Don't let people or things or life make you forget what you've just filled up in your bottle. See, these little toxic things, they can seep into your bottle and make the water no longer balanced and make you slowly, when you need to lift that bottle, if not taken care of, that bottle could be empty. When you need the water the most, don't forget that there are things that can seep your bottle. The things like the negative self-talk, the things like, going back to those old habits of the resentments and the procrastination. All these things are things that you don't want to do. So number one, let's just go back. Number one, you want to remember that you can show up for yourself. Number two, you want to also remember that you don't want to take for granted the very things that you have to push forward. You actually don't want to do that. Number three, go back to that lesson I told you, where you are really building something new. So everyone's not going to understand this new change you're about to make. Everyone's not going to see the internal work you're doing when you're going through incubation, when you're having moments of stillness to get clear about where you want to be. People are like, so what? You're not available on Friday. You haven't been for a couple of weeks. They don't know this great thing that's about to happen. That's why I get excited when you guys chime in, when you are present, because it shows me that if you can get through this process, wow, what more can you do once this becomes more of a habitual pattern in terms of thinking about your goals, getting clear about where you need to be? Remember, pull out that calendar and begin to make all of those specific goals for one major goal that you want to create. It takes time. It takes discipline. You're gonna fall. That's part of it. But when you fall, that's when you go back in the tribe and you say, okay, wait a minute. I learned all these new skills. I learned I'm not by myself. I learned I don't have to be perfect. I learned from Susie Carter, and I can say, my new money mantra. I can think about who I want to be in 2019, and I don't have to shrink. I do not have to shrink anymore. So how many of you have pulled your notes? How many of you have been thinking? Do this with me if you can. Take in a moment, breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. I know you're saying, what is she going to say? I'm taking this moment to be still. Connie, whatever your goals are, you can reach them. Dr. Alicia, continue to keep stripping away everything so that you can show up to be that woman you so desperately desire. Janelle Hall Blondell, you are not alone. You are just in a different shift in the wave. Juanita, I'm ready for that conference. You got to get that conference going. Pam, we'll get there, right? We'll get with our life balance goals. We just got to show up. Priyanka, hey, you just stepped into something you didn't know what you stepped into. But all of us, Tara, everybody, goodness, Trelane, we've all got work to do. So I want to just thank you all for, sticking in from this morning, from thinking about all of the talks from Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. What an amazing time. What amazing lessons to remember. Now, if you haven't been a part of the 7-day Upgrade My Life experience, I want you to be a part of it. It's absolutely free. Just go log in, go through that 7-day experience. In the private session today, I'm going to be announcing a surprise to all of you, for those of you who stayed in all the way till the end. I believe in rewarding consistency, and I believe in giving back authentically to those of you who are really serious about showing up. So I can't wait to announce that. I'm going to announce that in the actual, the other Zoom room. So you guys, I want to say thank you. I want to actually also ask if you have any questions about what you can do to upgrade your life. Please put those questions in here. Pam says this is so positive and so powerful. Priyanka says you give such positive vibes. Janelle says get a new mantra, no shrinking. Janelle says opportunity is everywhere. Show up for myself, and I can't take my gifts for granted. Yes, you guys have a surprise coming. So I'm excited about that for all of those of you who have stayed for the entire conference, who stayed in, you didn't run off. You guys will be rewarded. The last thing I want to let you know is that we will have the International Women Build Confidence Conference here in Boston in October, the weekend of Columbus weekend, that Friday and Saturday. So get ready to mark your calendars. Now, you know what? For those of you who are watching this later, you can easily go to dralanadegrasso.com/women-conference to learn more about it. And if you'd like to learn more about how to go through a process with coaching, feel free to reach out to me or leave me a message in the IWBCC group. But I also want to encourage you to go and learn about Janelle Hall Blondell and what she's doing with the Team Booster. She's a part of our Business Communication Mastery program. Go and learn about that. If you're in the IWBCC tribe, we would love for you to just let her know what questions you have about building your team's confidence. If you want to know about Nicola's new book, feel free to go to the IWBCC page and learn more about Nicola. If you want to learn more about Tara, go to the IWBCC page and learn about her. But I want to just take this moment because we are breaking for lunch. And for those of you, I said I am giving a special gift. We have one last discussion at 1:30, and it will be, well, here's my question. Do you guys like this room right now, or would you rather meet at 1:30 in the private Zoom room? When we're in the private Zoom room, you all can see me and we can see you. I think it'd be a lot more fun and engaging. So let's see, can you put them all here in the chat? Yes, you know, I forgot, Juanita, what am I putting in the chat? My mind has a lot of things going on right now. But would you guys want to stay right here, or at 1:30, do you want to meet in the private Zoom room where you can see everyone? If you're fine here, you can put fine here. If you want to be in the Zoom room where you can see everyone and chat along the way, just put Zoom room, and that'll let me know that you'd rather be in the room so you can see everyone and you can talk. It's a lot more fun too because we get to see each other, and we're an intimate group, so that should be fine. So just let me know by commenting below. All of the people you just mentioned. Oh, so Juanita, so our group, so right, if you go to IWBCC, you can easily find their links right in IWBCC group, and so you can find them there. And everyone else is saying the Zoom room is fine. Juanita, also we are having the leaders, so leaders, I would recommend that you do a live stream in IWBCC so people get to know you more, they can connect with you. So when we take our hourly break, feel free to jump on live and share with us what you're learning. Don't forget, we do also have a couple of giveaways too. We're giving away a $100 Amazon gift card for those of you who really share all of your biggest learning moments. Pam was gracious to win some years ago. She won her Amazon gift card, and you know what? We love giving gifts away, so we want to give that away. We're also going to be giving away a couple of coaching opportunities, and also a number of you to grab my Tomorrow Can't Wait book. So feel free, what time and how long. So if you guys want to tune in at 1:30, that's when we will go have lunch, do what you do, and then we're just going to be on for the last hour. I will be announcing what the special surprise is for those of you who stayed on the entire time. Well, I want to thank you guys. You guys were amazing. One thing I will do, give me a second, I'm going to see if I can, well, actually, yes. So if you go to the IWBCC group, once we break, I will post the link. Excuse me, I will post the link to the private Zoom room so you guys can come on. It's absolutely optional, but this is just for people who want that extra last hour to connect, just get to see each other. It's usually a lot of fun. It's a little different than this setup. And I'd love to see you. I also want to just take a moment, if you guys would allow me to thank everybody for participating in the International Women Build Confidence Conference. I want to take time to thank all of you. So that would be Dr. Alicia and Janelle Hall-Blondell and Priyanka and Nicola and everyone that's been a part, including Obiama Martin and Clarissa Davis, for those who were part of the first International Women Build Confidence live event. I want to thank them as well. And for everybody who really took part in something that was new, people didn't know what was happening, but I want to thank everyone and all 5,000 individuals who are a part of the Dr. Dia Inspire tribe, all 2,000 members who are part of my TCW tribe. I want to thank all my tribe members from around the world for being a part of something that is continuously growing, that is continuously raising the bar. And I want to thank everybody. And if you've learned and you've grown, please go to Turning on the Lights Global Institute page and leave us a review, as we love to share with others how they can actually change as well. And lastly, remember, you don't have to go through your process by yourself. Learn more about our business communication mastery programs and our Women Build Confidence 15 programs so that you can go and grow and soar this year in 2019. Well, that's it for us for the general portion of the International Women Build Confidence Conference. I want to thank everybody. Remember, you can always zoom in to the Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We will have it posted on our YouTube channel as well as in other feeds. I want to thank you again. Please let us know how you enjoyed this conference by going to subscriber at dralanadegrasso.com. We look forward to seeing you grow in 2019. You guys take care. And I'd like to just transition this to Tara. Tara, can you just talk about what people's next steps are? Give me 1 second. And yes. All right, Tara. Tara?
Okay, yes, I am here. So first, I just, again, would echo your sentiments and thank everyone for their participation in the chat room. It's been a very jam-packed last 3 days, and so grateful for all the questions and all the comments and all of the activity that was happening in the chat box. And I'm looking forward to people going over to the IWBCC page to share what they have been learning. I am your Certified Success Principles Trainer and Facilitator and Success Coach, and looking forward to continued contact with you all. And I believe we will just expect you all to continue to put in UPML as you take steps to upgrade your life. Thank you so much for being here today.
All right, I want to thank everybody else for being here today. We will put the private Zoom room information in the IWBCC page. You guys have been fabulous. Thank you so much for being a part of this pioneering event. Take care and thank you.